Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership by GridFinder.com and Nailcoat Hall. Big thank you to our sponsors for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. I am Tim, back with my co-commentator, as always, Malk. How are you doing?
Hello, Tim. I'm doing very well, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, and, getting off to a little bit of a late start, considering the fact that I was late to my home Grand Prix, literally the closest Grand Prix to where I am located, and I am late. Of course, this is the virtual world, so it doesn't matter how close you are to the real-life track. I went to the wrong racetrack. I pulled a Michael Waltrip.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe you went to the wrong track. Ledge. Absolute ledge. It's good to be back, Tim, in the commentators box. Like I said, I was just not feeling too good last week, so I'm all alive and well. And good to be back. And I'd like to say thank you to JPH_99 for being as backup last week for you, Tim. Absolute legend. I saw the highlights from last week, and thank you so much to JPH if he is watching back. Thank you so much. But it's good to be back for round 7 at the US of A. And I tell you what, Michael has absolutely spun at one of the corners, Tim.
Yeah, he spun, and unfortunately, Michael Luke, that seems to be sort of the story for his qualifying this season. You know, you remember he had an issue in Monza, and now he's had an issue in USA. Now, granted, that was the outlap, but I'd say that his tires aren't exactly happy with his performance through that corner, but still, it was only the outlap, so he'll be okay. He was the first driver. Looks like he's still going to be the first driver, actually, to make it around and start his flying lap, assuming he doesn't dive down into the pits. Of course, his car-allocated teammate for the day, Steven, also in the Mercedes behind him, just a couple of corners. And then we got the McLaren of JP out there, JP911959. There's a lot of numbers up there, I'm sorry. JP.
Oh, ledge. Keep going, Tim. We're doing fine.
Oh, no, we'll just ride on board with JP, as he's actually trying to get a little bit of breathing room between him and Steven. I do suspect that Michael Luke will... Actually, no, he's not going into the pit, so we'll watch Michael Luke on his out lap, or his flying lap now. Now if I can just get my laps together.
Oh, no!
Oh, and Michael Luke is off the track. He got very lucky with that he did not crash out. So that is going to be some wing damage on the Mercedes of Michael, but he will be able to pit, get a new front wing, and make another attempt. But that could have been very, very bad.
Absolutely. I was watching his start after turn 1. That's where you've got to be very, very careful, especially if the track is not warm enough or like heated up as much as possible. But hopefully the drivers will be very careful, especially through the S's part as well, and through the third sector. That's really the ones that will be the crucial points of it all. But good evening to everyone that's in the chat. We'll catch up with the chat in a moment or two. But watching Keza now, Tim. Keza's just come up to do his proper lapping now. I mean, Keza, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is Keza's moment of his debut, I think. Oh no, sorry, he had 10 points last week. I do apologise. You could tell I wasn't there last week. He had his first decent points of 10 points. I think that was... I think that might be 11th. Yeah, that was 11th place. So he had his first outing in 11th place. Let's see what he can try and do in the qualifying up to the first sector as well, too. So compared to what happened last week, and compared to what you've seen on some of the drivers itself, do you think there'll be a few shocks along the way?
At this point, who knows what's going to happen with the championship, and as far as shocks and interesting moments, as we see Roberts go to a 134.763, and Steven fastest now, a 134.697, and that's on the medium tire compound. But now Simon Palmer reserved for today, a 134.689. Good to see Simon Palmer back in the Performance League with us. And now DeLange, a 134.362. Every driver setting their fastest lap now. Well, it's the first lap, so of course they are, but it just seems like each one seems to best the other one. Russman, a 135.2. Smoke, the winner last week, a 136.589. Of course, Russman and Smoke first and second in the championship standings, and they are teammates for No Michael No. Of course, third place is Nitro Gash, and has yet to get a win on the season. So Nitro Gash looking good so far. Russman, of course, he has yet to get a win on the season as well. His teammates pretty much stolen his wins. But Russ, man, we're going to start calling him Mr. Consistency because he has by far been the most consistent driver so far this season. Not to mention, last season he finished second in the points, but he finished every race and got points for every race because he finished. And Keza goes to the pole now, a 133.224 in that McLaren.
That's a really good time there from Keza. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I did see a few comments. Yeah, Keza's, this is his first proper full-time drive in the RP, so that last week was his first race in RP, and now this is his confirmed full-time race, so thank you for that as well. And well done to Keza, actually, a great time. I'm just trying to have a look to see who else is on track. Tadelli is in the Ferrari, is in the medium tyres, come to the third sector now. So interesting to see how everything goes in this scene itself. And this is the part where the third sector you have to go around the right-hander, the longest right-hander, trying to avoid getting too far wide into the corners itself. And today he's got himself back into the pit, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. Yellow flag set to 3. Yellow flag set to 3. Speed Queen, who I watched a bit of the highlights last week, and she was really unlucky last week from the race at Abu Dhabi on the last lap as well. To be fair, so a 1:35.071 on 9th place, and someone's just moved up. I think that might be simply. Will it be simply the best? We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, he's in second place with 1:33.3562.
Looking at Nitro Gash in the Alpha Tauri now. He's going to set his first flying lap, goes through the final corner, and keeping it within the track limits, opens that DRS, and as he crosses the line, he goes to P4, a 134.188. Now we'll ride on board with Sab here in just a moment, and we'll actually use Sab to take us for a lap around the Circuit of the Americas. Circuit of the Americas, personally, I feel is one of the more challenging tracks on the F1 schedule. Not sure how some of these other drivers feel or how Sab feels about it, but looks like he's struggling coming out of the final corner. But this is a DRS zone, a lot of passes here, and Sab's really struggling out there, not actually getting up to speed that he needs. So he's just out there sort of trying to get a feel for the car, I assume. So we'll have to wait for another driver to take us for a lap. Maddie's on a flying lap now in the Alfa Romeo. Michael Luke has just started his flying lap as well, so Michael getting very lucky after a spin early on in qualifying has been able to go back out there and start his qualifying officially now.
We'll have to wait and see how his lap goes. I'm just watching some of the drivers going past. I'm just watching Matty now. Just got up to third sector now, just near the end of it now. And interested to see what time he will try and do. I mean, to be fair though, there's been times he's fifth at the moment in the driver standings, so he is getting the consistency of getting decent points at unexpected times. But again, he moves up to sixth place with 134.454.
So Matty just behind his car allocated teammate of Delange. Of course, Matty driving for All Thumbs. Massey Delange driving for the Tortoise and the Hare.
Oh, well, he's definitely not slow there at all, to be fair, Matty. He's just been really, really good in the positions in the qualifying as it stands as well. In case of just saying good evening, mate. I hope you're going well. You've done a good lap, to be fair, mate. Spud. Hi, lads, let's go. Yeah, let's hope you have a great qualifying. Rain says, you're alright, Kez, my cup is 20% done. I was worried. No RP. Yeah, Rains. Hello and evening, people. Hello to Rains. Hope you're going well. And Michael! No, Michael, no! Probably yes, Michael, because he's got pole position with 132.941, Tim.
And that's a good time for Michael. That is exactly what he needs here today. Tadelli starting his flying lap now in the Ferrari, so this can be our lap around Circuit of the Americas. Uphill, going into turn number 1, a very tight hairpin. You're going to maybe see 3 or 4 wide. situations into turn number 1, and then you're going to approach the S's, and you have to be very careful here. Those curbs can't spin you. You actually hear Tedeli lift out a little bit. You do have to lift out of the throttle and let the car just roll through the corner. Once you get by those S's, if you can get a good exit out of that set of corners, it sets you up for, guess what, another small set of S's here. Then down the straightaway, and looks like Tedeli has actually had an issue, so he will not continue the lap. He has invalidated his lap. We just can't catch a break today, Mac. We can't find any driver to give us an onboard ride.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But they don't want to get caught on TV and make a silly mistake at all. That's what they're trying to do, Tim. They're trying to do that. Carrying on with the chat as well. Spud says the car's too fast for him. I think that might be someone else. Jelly, or Gel, Geeson, if that's how you pronounce it, sorry. This is on reserve since the day. Can I still Unfortunately, mate, you have to speak to the admins. We're just the commentators, so unfortunately you can't join in because the race is still on. Rain says 9 enough attempts on mediums. Oh, BXN Roberts! BXN Roberts has just crashed at the start, finishing nice straight. Trying to be celebrated, I think. But again, that was a bit of a bad mistake from his part, but 11th place at the moment. Ellie, hello, how you doing? Hope you came well this evening, everyone. Rain says, quite a huge grid for RP. Yeah, biggest one that we've had so far this season. Spud says, Kesa for the win. We'll have to wait and see. At the moment, he's in 3rd place. As I said, Joe, you can't join because you shouldn't be talking to the admins if you are meant to be joining in the race itself. Rain says Delange is on a good lap. We'll have to look and see where Delange is now, and he is moved up to 6th place with 133.843, Tim.
And he dives down into the pits. Thought he was on another lap, but Sunboy is on a lap, except he has invalidated his lap, so unfortunate for Sunboy. His best time, a 133.732. We'll take a look at Keza. A few drivers in the chat saying Keza for the win. I guess we'll see. So far, he is in P3. His car allocated teammate of JP, the winner from Bahrain, in P2, just ahead of him with a 133.163 to Keza's 133.224.
Sorry, Tim. Rustman moves us up to 5th with 133.601, Tim.
So Rustman looking good so far, and Rustman has been in the Aston Martin as Keza has invalidated his lap, but Rustman I actually think has been in the Aston Martin every single week this season in the RP, so that Aston Martin is starting to become a home to Rustman, whether he likes it or not.
I think when you've got a driver who's been consistent with the same car, like what Sunboy had with the Williams car, you got Rustman with the Aston Martin. It's you get to feel how the performance car is with that car, and you know the characteristics, you know how to deal with the car and the setup itself. But when that time runs out, they'll have to change their car sooner rather than later, and they'll find a difference in the paces as well, depending on how they do in tonight's USA Grand Prix.
So watch his Nitro Gash and see what kind of lap time he can lay down through the final corner. He'll open that DRS, and let's see what the AlphaTauri is going to do. He goes to P5, a 133.482, just over 4.5 minutes remaining in the qualifying session now. And welcome to every one of you who has joined to watch the qualifying for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League. What are you looking at, Mal?
Sorry, I was just reading this from the comment actually. Hello to Mrs. Rustman, how you doing? Rustman was in an LP last week, not Aston Martin, Tim. So.
Ah, okay.
So you've been told off on that, to be fair. Ellie says JP also winning F3 yesterday. So JP's got a good chance. You've got the drivers who have been very good with their consistency. Hello Nova, how you doing, mate? You alright? Hope you're going well. But yeah, it's been an absolute classic, to be fair. I think we might see a few more unbelievable scenes, and I cannot wait for this the race. We've not heard anything from the weather crew at all. We would like to know more if we do hear us from the chat, but the clouds are not looking great so far, Tim.
And it's not looking good in qualifying, but as you know, it can be completely different between qualifying and the race session. I know a lot of the drivers in the chat were actually saying that they do not want to have any rain. So I know what the drivers are thinking, and I certainly know what I am thinking. I, for one, would love to see a dry race around this circuit, but if you remember, if you watched it earlier in the week, the F2 race, Smoke won that race, and it started in the dry, but it finished in rainy conditions on intermediate tires. So even though it's in Austin, Texas, and even though Texas is a very hot and dry climate sometimes, it doesn't mean that it's not going to rain around here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you just never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in an F1 race. The unexpected moments are always the classic moments, and they're the ones that you'll never, ever forget. I'm just watching Spud now, coming up to the last few corners. I think he's on a proper lap now. He might be 135. Yeah, 135 from 1.7 on the medium, so that's not good on the medium tyres. So I think he might have to do another lap with the medium tyres. Nova says, doing well, mate. Can't race for a while because of desync issues. Oh no, mate. I hope everything gets sorted as soon as possible. If you like what we see so far, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We are aiming for at least 10 likes so far on the YouTube stream. It will be a massive help to myself and Tim as commentators, as well as Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel as well. If you're in the chat, who do you think will be your top 3 before the qualifying is finished? We'll find out in a matter of 1 minute 35 left, Tim.
So the drivers, if they're going to set a lap, they're going to have to start thinking about getting out there now. And if you look at the mini-map, it's pretty much a rainbow of cars, of drivers on their out lap or on a flying lap. Currently watching Steven in the Mercedes, and he had a purple second sector, at least for a brief moment. So we'll see what kind of lap time he is able to lay down going through the third and final sector now. We'll ride on board with Steven. This is a very fast corner, but you have to be careful, because it's very easy to go wide and clip that curb and spin. Now, through the final corner, you got to be careful to not disobey those track limits, as Steven goes to fourth, a 1:33.342.
That's a good time from Steven. He need that. He really need that after all the struggles that he's had the last few races. Well, I don't know, I can't remember much on the last race, but from the races that I've seen of Steven, he's been really struggling, to be fair. But hopefully that'll be the catalyst to that start off. We've got the two Mercedes, we've got McLaren, Mercedes sandwich as well, with the two McLarens in the middle, and second and third. Matty coming up to the last few corners now. I think he might have to do one more lap. So just have to wait and see how everything goes. Might have to do another lap. But all the drivers, as far as we know, except for Spud, is the only one who is only in the pits. And 10 seconds left, Tim.
So watching Speed Queen 80 now. Speed Queen 80 on a lap. And of course, you mentioned last week that she had a little bit of bad luck at the end of the race. If you did not watch the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, I highly recommend giving it a look after today's race, because it was a fantastic race from start to finish, especially that final lap, a nail-biting battle between herself and Smoke that came down to a last lap pass.
Well, we'll hope to have a classic finish, whatever happens, or we might have, as the usual, 2 in the bed, 3 in the bed, or possibly a 4 in the bed moment. We'll have to wait and see. Could we have a faux finish? Remember when we had like six drivers all fighting for a win? That's mad. And Steven got a pole position at the moment, 132.781. Watching JP now come up to the final few corners now. So let's see what he can try and do now. Oh, he's invalidated his lap. Keza's just behind. Michael is still doing his lap. Where is Michael? Michael's just going into the third sector now. So Keza's just coming up to the final corner now. This is the part where you have to get a good exit to get a good chance. And this could be second place on his full-time seat. Second place. Brilliant stuff. And Michael is invalidated his lap, Tim. So that's not good news for the Mercedes driver.
And Speed Queen does not improve. BXN Roberts coming out of the final corner in the Alpha Tower. He goes a little wide, but hangs on to it. He improves his lap a little bit, but still, P13, a 133.969. It looks like what you see is what you're going to get. Tal is on a lap. Not sure if it's going to be a fast lap, though. No, it's not. It is an invalidated lap, so Tal dives down into the pits, and qualifying is officially over. Sab and Tadeli not able to set a lap time, but the rest of our 19-car field have got their lap times down. Oh, Steven on the pole in the Mercedes with Keza and Michael Luke, your top three.
Yeah, great time. Good top three finishes for Steven, Keza, and Michael. To hear their thoughts as well. Andy says Michael, Smoke, and SB for a podium as well. I think that might be some boy. Yeah, it might be some boy. Rain says the F1 tier had really the best racing quality. Tim and Malk, you will get double pay. This is his words. You get double pay if you make RP as crazy as that. Not for my wallet, though. This is really enjoying reading the comments. Yeah, so I have to wait and see after everything goes. But yeah, I can't believe it's 1600ths of a second between Keza and O'Steven. And O'Steven pulled it out of the bag. So, Tim, I'll let you do the honours for the short qualifying classification.
And your official starting lineup for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League United States Grand Prix is O'Steven on the pole with Keza in second, Michael Luke in third, Smoke in fourth, JP in fifth, Simply 90 in sixth, seventh is Nitro Gash, Tal in eighth, ninth is Rustman 88, Sunboy in 10th, Delange 93 in 11th, 12th is Maddie Roberts in 13th, 14th is Simon Palmer, Speed Queen 80 in 15th, 16th is Sir Spud, Turok in 17th, Sab in 18th, and Tadeli in the 19th position. So now it is time for myself and Malk to get our top three predictions in, and I'm going to have to go in any particular order. Keza, JP, and Smoke.
Oh, okay. Are you going for Smoke to win as well? For the fourth time of asking, or are you going to wait? Or it was just any order, sorry.
Well, it's certainly possible. He's got 3 wins in a row, and I know that he's not exactly confident about his chances of winning today, but he's starting in 4th place, and I learned last week that you don't necessarily need to bet against him when he is close to 1st place. So I feel like he deserves a spot in the top 3 predictions. I'm not saying he's going to win, but certainly a top 3.
We'll have to wait and see how everything goes, to be fair. It should be a classic, whatever happens tonight, but here we go. For my prediction, I'm going to say Keza, JP. I'll tell you what, I think this is the first time we've ever done this for a long time. I'm going to say the same as you. I'm going to say Smoke in the top 3 as well. So, but I'm going to go for Smoke to win his 4th consecutive win this season. So that's my prediction. I'm going to go Smoke for the win, but Kez and JP also joining the podium. Tim.
Don't you see? We're in this together. Yep, it's been quite a while since we've had our same predictions.
Absolute legend you are, Tim. Absolute legend. Yeah, I think that's the first time in ages we've had the same predictions.
So Keza says no commentator's curse. Malk, I think he's looking at you.
Yeah, that's probably why, to be fair. Every time when I say a prediction of a top 3, majority of the time, they don't finish in the top 3. But it's been very rare. And I say rare, probably about 20%. Rare occasions. But I hope the percentage goes up. As in, like, consistency, trying to pick the right winners as well. But we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. I forgot to tell you, Tim, that the conditions, as you can see, it's going to be a dry race. No rain at all.
And that is good. I know that's going to please a lot of our drivers. And hey, you know what? That means that we get to see a few DRS overtakes.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely. Imagine the 2 wide, 3 wide, or in my words, the 2 in a bed or 3 in a bed moments, maybe 4 in a bed. I'm still gobsmacked that there was a 4 in a bed moment at Abu Dhabi. Was that in the first lap, or was that the later on the laps? Can you remember that, Tim?
Honestly, Abu Dhabi was just pretty crazy. I don't remember exactly what lap that was, but there were a couple 3 wide moments, and I remember there was even contact going into turn 1. I think it was between Smoke and Michael. There might have been some contact going into 1. That might have been how Smoke originally got the lead. But I've slept since then. It's been a while.
It's been a long week, mate. It's been a long week. We have to wait and see how everything goes at the US of A. Yeah! Moments as well. I bet you impressed with that, didn't you? As well. We'll have to wait and see. So it looks like we're about to start, Tim. So we've both, guys, if you just joined in, good evening to you all. Hope everyone's all going well. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live race itself. I could see that we've hit the 10 likes already. Thank you so much. If we could aim for 15 or maybe more, be a massive help as well. Just reading some of the comments, Tim, sorry, before passing it back to you. Rain says this track needs patience. Ellie says Keza, Michael, JP is for the top 3. Rain says Keza, Sunboy and Delange for the top 3. Rain says no pressure, Keza for the race itself. Spud says if Smoke wins, he needs to go in the Haas next race. Well, I mean, like I said, we're the ones, we're just doing our job as commentators itself, Spud, but yeah, it's, you know, we can't decide or anything like that at all. Rain says, poor Tarak. Yeah, I feel bad for Tarak because he's just going to the Haas, one of the worst cars in this series as well. And Spud, Rain says, Spud, don't hit for hards. Don't pit for hards and pit under the safety car unless you're leading in the final 5 laps. You can do it, Spud. Oh, I love the chat where it just gives you that momentum of boost of some of the drivers, to be fair. But I reckon there'll be a few shocks. I reckon there'll be a few drivers, Tim, to watch out for. You've got Speed Queen, who's been really unlucky in the last few races to get. She got herself into the podium a couple of times, but can she get into the podium? I know we've already predicted ourselves, but I'm going to put a dark horse on possibly Speed Queen to get a top 5 finish, Tim.
Starting from P15, that's going to be a tall ladder to climb for her, but it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. And Smoke did win the race in F3 after starting P14, which was last in that race. So Speed Queen 80 starting from P15. If Smoke can win from 14th, I don't see why she can't at least get a top 5 from P15.
That's what I mean. I reckon she'll be the dark horse to get herself into at least the top 5. But she is also great with the tyres. I'll keep saying this every single time. She's great with the tyre management, so watch out for her as well. And all the drivers are all building up to, coming up to the last corner itself. Here we go. Who will try and win the US of A? Yeah! Moments Grand Prix. Tim, I'll let you do the honours each and every single week.
And an honor it is each and every week, Mouth of drivers finding their appropriate positions on the grid. A 19-car field that will grace the circuit of the Americas today, just waiting for the final few drivers to park, and then we will be ready, and this is when the anxiety sets in for all of these guys. Will Smoke be able to go 4 in a row? Will Michael Luke get his first win of the season? Will Steven win? Will Keza win, who has just now got into the McLaren, running only 1 race so far this season? We're about to find out at the end of 28 laps, and you hear those engine revving, you hear those itchy pedal feet, the drivers watching the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights. We are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League United States Grand Prix, and the 2 Mercedes 1 and 2 into turn number 1. But will it be a 4 wide situation? 3 wide with Smoke in the middle in the LP, making some contact, and already contact in the back. Who was it? That was simply 90 involved. Russman involved. Tarak, he is making up a few positions, but he might have got involved as well. Speed Queen 80, is she able to get through that?
I'm hoping she got through that easily, but there's quite a few drivers who have had a few contacts. It looked like Spud lost the braking point at turn 1, which caught a few of the drivers off guard itself. So that is a bad timing for Spud to get himself out the back of the grid itself. But mad start in one of McLaren's. I think that might be JP. JP making the move. Great move. JP moves up to 4th place, Tim.
Not yet, though. He's side by side with Sunboy. Sunboy trying to defend. He can't do anything with it, though. JP does go around to 4th place now and clears the Williams driver. JP now setting his sights on Michael Luke up there in the Mercedes.
Speed Queen! Speed Queen! Come on! Come on! You got a good moment there. Oh, could have been a two-in-a-bed moment, but got ahead of Tao. Got ahead of Tao for 11th place. That is crucial, but it was nearly a move to Delange. But it looks like Russman and Tao. Russman and Tao having a bit of battle for 12th place, Tim.
Looking out the back of Tal and Russman there in the Aston Martin. Who was that? Sab maybe, or simply 90 actually in the Alpine going a bit wide. Russman trying to close back in on that Red Bull driver. Tal trying to get back. Oh, and Russman really sends it into the corner. Cuts the corner actually.
Yeah, so Russman just trying to get out. Sorry, Tim.
Something has went wrong. So I apologize, guys, if the stream is still going. We do have a blue screen at the moment. There is something wrong. We are trying to figure out what the issue is. And are we still live? Yes, we are. Perfect. All right, so my apologies, guys. There were some technical difficulties. We are now officially back in action and still riding on board with Tal in the Red Bull, giving chase to Speed Queen 80. No change in position as far as those battles are concerned. O. Stevens still leads with Keza and Michael Luke, your top 3. JP and Sunboy, your top 5. Smoke trying to close in on Sunboy for that 5th position, though. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it. It's lap 2 of 28. The DRS will be active next time.
Yeah, we do apologise for any technical difficulties, guys. We've got ourselves back into the race itself. Delange holding on for 10th place, trying to catch up to Simon Palmer, who's in 9th with BX and Roberts. Keza, Oh Stephen, Keza, they go side by side, Keza going some ahead of Oh Stephen for the first time in this race, just in the 2nd lap as well, so that's a good move from Keza. Oh, he's loving life in the Performance League, Tim.
On board with Michael Luke, who's got a front row seat for this battle, but now that Keza's got that clean air, it's looking like that McLaren is pulling away. The Mercedes, of course, is faster than the McLaren, but remember how we allocate these drivers. The slower drivers are allocated to the faster cars, and then the faster drivers allocated to the slower cars to make it as balanced of a field as possible. So it's looking like Keza really agrees with that McLaren today. O. Stephen, of course, he set that Mercedes on the pole, so it's not that he doesn't like his car. It just looks like Keza early on is just a little bit faster. Not to mention that Michael Luke is putting a little bit of pressure on O. Stephen as well. So that could be affecting the way that O. Stephen is driving that car and trying to handle it.
And yeah, he's trying to keep balance, but he's really struggling to catch up with Keza. And unfortunately, Michael could have a chance to catch up to O. Stephen. But remember, O. Stephen struggles. He's under a lot of pressure this season. He especially when he's got the faster car, he really struggles. But again, at the moment, he's doing okay. Smoke! Will it be smoking? Closing in on Sunboy for 5th place. The DRS should be active now, but they are having a DRS train. There's a DRS train. Smoke's got a chance on Sunboy. He's going to go on back onto the racing line now. Should have a chance to make the move. Oh, Sunboy holding on for 5th. It looks like Michael goes up ahead of O. Stephen for 3rd. No, he's telling me off. O. Stephen's telling me off. It's the two Mercedes.
And the McLaren is spun. The McLaren of JP, he is spun around after contact with Michael Luke. So now JP, the winner from Bahrain, he's dropping down outside of the top 10 now. Michael Luke trying to stay close to O. Stephen. He's right on the tail of that Mercedes. He's not going to let O. Stephen out of his sight. And remember, these guys, they are only sharing a pit box today. Through the final corner, Michael's going to get a little bit of DRS on O. Stephen. Will O. Stephen be able to defend? He's going to have to use all of his ERS, but Michael Luke already has it deployed. Plus the DRS, that's going to give him a lot of speed down the straightaway. Up into the hill, he goes to the inside of the Mercedes. He gets the move done, but does he clear him? Yes, he does. Move Michael Luke up into 2nd place, but O. Stephen fights back. It almost gets underneath him.
Simon Palmer and Delange are battling out side by side. 2 in a bed moment at turn 1. Delange lost it to Simon Palmer for 8th place. Speed Queen holding on for 10th against Tao for 11th. Tao's going to set the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. You do not want to do that at all, Sunshine. You do not want to do that. Simply the best, I'm going to have to call him, because he's a 1:36.234 on the fastest lap. And Smoke in 4th place, team.
Smoke getting around Sunboy once again. Oh, Sunboy gets into the back of the Alpine a little bit, so contact down the straightaway, but Sunboy's going to have the DRS, but still stuck in that DRS train still. We saw Smoke make the move last time. Let's see if Sunboy is able to replicate that. Smoke is protecting the high line. Sunboy will not dive down low, so he stays in the 5th position for now, but Smoke goes a little bit wide out of the corner. That does give Sunboy an opportunity. It's a side-by-side battle. Smoke on the inside, though, has the shorter line, and this section of the track is such an interesting place because you can get two drivers taking completely different lines through the corner, and it can work for both of them. As you have seen, these drivers are still side by side. Smoke edging ahead just a little bit, using the momentum through those corners to carry him ahead of Sunboy. But will he be able to stay there once they get to turn number 1? There's a DRS zone down the front straightaway. Smoke, he is having to defend pretty much like it's the last lap, and it's only lap 5 at the moment, but Sunboy has opened up the DRS on that Williams car. Does Smoke have any DRS? I think he does, so that might be his saving grace. Going into turn number 1, he will hang on to the 4th position, at least for now.
You have to wait and see how everything goes for Smoke, but just watching at the back of the grid as well. It looks like Tao nearly went to the back of Speed Queen at turn 1, but they're still battling out. There's quite a few cars at the back between Simon Palmer and all the way down to possibly Tarak. So we've got quite a few cars battling out, and also Sab, who did not do a qualifying lap at all. He's in 14th place, so slowly steering himself into the grid itself. Spotting Tao now. Tao got Speed Queen. This is the part. Sunboy's moved up to 4th. Smoke drops down to 5th. And I'll tell you what, the Aston Martin and Russman's going on the inside. And we got a 2 in the bed moment. I thought we was going to have a 2 in the bed moment.
Now we got a 3-wide moment, with Smoke on the inside, Sunboy in the middle, and O. Steven on the outside. Smoke gets into P3. Sunboy into P4 now with O. Steven in 5th place, just behind him. Sunboy trying to get back around that Alpine of Smoke, and he has got that car right next to him. Smoke lets him go. Sunboy goes back into 3rd, but now Smoke's fighting back hard on the inside line. It's pretty much the same as last time, except this time Sunboy gets ahead of Smoke. He lets him go. Sunboy in P3, Smoke in 4th. O. Steven, in just 1 lap, has dropped all the way back to 5th now.
Yeah, so that's bad limitations for O. Steven. Hopefully he'll bounce back as quickly as possible. But again, those drivers who are on the drive of their life at the moment, you can see Sunboy is under a lot of pressure from Smoke. O. Steven under a lot of pressure from Nitrogash on that DRS zone, but they cannot do anything about it at all. Still battling out with O. Steven, closing in on Smoke for 4th place. Still trying to do everything they can at the moment, but mad race so far, Tim, in this Realistic Performance League.
And it's lap 6 of 28. Keza is your leader. Michael Luke in 2nd. Let's go to Keza for just a moment. There you see him, and there you see behind him, just barely, Michael Luke in that Mercedes, so he will not benefit from the DRS with Keza being 2 seconds ahead. This has pretty much been the best thing for these drivers up front, is P3 on back having such a tight battle. It's allowed Keza and Michael to pull away, and theoretically speaking, it could be a race between just those 2 drivers at the end of this thing if it goes safety car free. But that's a big if and not a guarantee, as Tadelli picks up another 3-second time penalty, and Smoke goes around the outside of Sunboy, and it's side-by-side. Smoke really pinches him in the corner that time around. Sunboy down to P4 now, and Smoke got the move done, cleared him, but Sunboy, we have seen how strong he is on the inside line through this section. Will he be able to get back by Smoke? He did not that time, and Smoke, with a slightly altered line through that set of corners, is able to hold off Sunboy.
Let's hope they can try and hold off as long as possible. Still watching in the back, Tim. Still watching in the back. Speed Queen has lost 2 positions from Tao and JP in a matter of a couple of quarters, actually. But Russman is going to chase with Sab also right behind. Russman, nearly went to the back of Speed Queen. Sab also trying to get the slipstream as well with the DRS. It's been absolutely manic scenes, to be fair, but you don't know which one to pick, Tim. There's so many battles galore. You just don't know which one is the closest one. It looks like Tao's maybe the closest one to Simon Palmer. Tao is... No, don't tell me Tao was going to go through. I was just guessing whether Tao was going to go through side through the S's, because that would have been the bravest and most boldest move he has ever done at Invictus, Tim.
On board with JP, as we can see Tal and Simon Palmer battling just ahead of him. Now, Tal is going to get an opportunity down this straightaway with the DRS. The thing is, though, is Simon Palmer's close enough to get the DRS off of Buxton Roberts, so it's still a DRS train that these drivers are going to have to deal with. JP just barely within reach, and Speed Queen 80 as well, and Rustman 80, so really this is a huge DRS train. Too many cars for me to count, but there goes Tal looking underneath of Simon Palmer. There you see Simon dropping back just a little bit, and Tal clears him. Simon Palmer fights back hard on the outside. Will he be able to get the move back done on Tal in the Red Bull? Not this time. Tal has cleared him and stays ahead of him. Buxton Roberts ahead of this battle, fighting with Delange, who is in P7. Roberts in P8. Delange holding him off, and Roberts on those medium tires. I expect him to go forward here soon, but it's not happening at the moment.
Yeah, well, Delange just goes on ahead because BX and Roberts went wide. Yellow flags at 3. I think that's Tarak. Yeah, Tarak has just gone off track in third sector. This is where everything changed. Oh, Stevens, the first person to pit now. Rain says pit windows open at lap 9, he says. So, we have to wait and see what's happening so far. But Stephen is the first driver to get himself into the pits. Roberts is having some issues with his car, so I'm hoping BX and Roberts' car is sorting itself out as soon as possible. If not, I have to get that sorted. Tarak has retired. Yeah, Tarak has retired in the pits. But hopefully he'll be back next week and try and be back for next week's race too.
So on board with Sab now as they go through the S's. Sab battling with Rustman 88 and the Aston Martin. That is for the 13th position. Speed Queen 80 just ahead of them. Sab, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Absolutely, and just waiting to see what's going to happen from everyone's perspective. Still, BX and Roberts try and close the gap onto Delange. Delange got no other choice but to lose that 6th place.
Oh, and Roberts wrecks out. No, okay, no, he doesn't. So a little bit of communication issue there between Roberts and his car. That kind of caught both of us by surprise there, Mount. But looking back at Tal in the Red Bull, so Tal, he pretty much had to back out of that a little bit. So not quite as close as he was to Delange, but he pretty much quickly makes up the time lost through that third sector of corners. And it's such a weird sector of corners. What's happened?
Tedeli's out. Tedeli's out at the first sector, Tim. I don't know what actually happened to him, but looks like he may have lost it through the S's. Rain says, oof, lap 7 for Stephen. Good luck then. Yeah, hopefully he'll try and get himself through the gap itself. But majority of the drivers are all pitted, and there's no safety car at the moment. We've not mentioned about the safety cars, Tim. At this track, it's very, very rare that we've had a safety car, so I'm going to say no safety car for this evening, Tim.
Guess we'll have to wait and see. I was surprised that the wreck with Tedeli, especially with it being what appeared to be so close to the racing surface, was not a safety car, but it was not. Keza, a 3-second time penalty, and what was that? JP as well with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and those drivers, they have yet to pit, so I don't know, maybe they wish that they had. Of course, this is a track that is very easy for you to pick up a time penalty, especially through the S's and the final corner.
Absolutely. The S's part has been the most trickiest part of it all, but these guys are going to have to be at their very, very best. At the moment, there's a few battles going on at the minute between Simon Palmer and JP for 4th and 5th. You got 3-car, maybe 4 or 5-car battle between Rustman and Michael. It looks like JP's going to ahead of Simon Palmer. You got Delange and Dowell for 14 and 15, which I'm watching right here, right now on my side. But yeah, here we go. Can Tal make the move onto Delange from 14th place? I think he has. He has indeed. Goes ahead into 14th place, Tim.
Simon Palmer and JP still battling it out. Simon Palmer back into P4 over the McLaren driver of JP in P5, riding on board with JP. And let's see what kind of a run he can get down the front straightaway. No longer stuck in the DRS train, these drivers are. So JP will at least have a shot at Simon Palmer, except he dives down into the pits, and a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting going into the pits. That is something very new that I have not seen for quite... I've never seen a penalty being given for that. In those pits.
It might have been depending on how far did he cut the corner, like cut the white line itself. That's the problem though. But it can be very fine lines itself, so it just all depends on if he has cut the corner. He did go in a little bit late than expected from what I could see briefly, but whether that was true or not, I don't know. But at the moment, Keza He's slowly getting himself into third place. Sab drops down to fourth. Michael is in fifth place at the moment, but so many good battles galore. We never know what's going to happen next. So, Tim, who are you watching so far?
On board with Michael, and we'll see what kind of a run he can get on Sab down the straightaway. Michael going to use that DRS, but he did not get a good exit out of the hairpin, so I think Sab might be okay. Michael Luke starting that DRS deployment from 4/10 on back. He's going to have a run. Sab gives him the outside, tries to break up that slipstream. Now Sab gives him the inside line. Michael Luke outbreaks the Red Bull and goes past Sab.
Yeah, I was hoping Sab will bounce back and try and do the old switcheroo to Michael, but he's playing... even though he's done 9 laps of the medium tyres, he's trying to go long as possible and try and catch up with these guys who are already on the fresh mediums as well. But BX and Robertson, Simon Palmer are still the only ones still at the top 2 at the moment. Simply 7 laps of those soft tyres. Simon Matty and Spud, they must have been pitted after a couple of laps from the start, but don't know what to say, Tim. It's been a classic so far with so many battles galore, Tim.
Michael Luke and Sab still a close pair here, but Keza getting closer to Simon Palmer there for the second position. Keza, of course, picking up that time penalty. He's going to have to work very hard to overcome that. Simon Palmer, look at the run that he got through the S's that time. That was incredible. Simon has definitely found some grip in that Aston Martin through that section of the track. And it's going to show that he knows the United States Grand Prix very, very well. But Keza might be just a little bit faster here, as he has been able to close the gap to 0.3 of a second between those two drivers now. Biggs and Roberts leading the race, as you can see just ahead of them now. Roberts and Simon, they have not yet pitted. They started on the medium compound tire, so it will still be a while before we see those drivers pit. Keza trying to get around the Aston Martin of Simon Palmer. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes, he does, but will he clear him by the time they get to the corner? No, he won't, so it's going to be a side-by-side battle. Simon Palmer tries to pinch Keza, but can't do anything about it. Keza does clear him for a brief moment, tries to shut the door on him, but Simon Palmer, he just will not give up. He ultimately does have to concede that position, though, move Keza up into the second position.
Absolutely. BX and Robinson's just gone off track a little bit, which may bring Keza into play. Can Keza hold on? I don't know what's going to happen next, because Keza needs to try and play the game perfectly. If he can, this will be fantastic, but BX and Robinson's not missed about. He will lose out on that DRS zone, depending on where Keza's going to be. Still watching from his perspective. Can he go down the straight? This is a great opportunity for him to make the move. The straight line speed with the DRS, and Keza goes up back into the lead, Tim.
So Keza in P1, but now he has to overcome that 3-second time penalty. Here's an update on our time penalty situation after lap 12 of 28 of the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League United States Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership by GridFinder.com and Nailcoat Hall. Keza's got 3 seconds of time penalties, as does Sab, Smoke, and Tal. JP with 6, and Simply 90 with 3, and Tal picking up another 3-second time penalty, so that brings it up to 6.
So bad times for Tal, but he looks fast. He's getting quicker as it goes on, but we'll have to wait and see how everything goes at the minute. But at the moment, Michael's getting close to Simon Palmer. This is what's annoying as well when you're watching it from the F1's perspective, that when there's a DRS train, you want more overtakes, you want more battles galore. But when you got a DRS train, you just don't know when they're going to break it up. Do you know what I mean? Or when they're going to try and make the move done as well. Oh, Sab's off! Sab's off! Tim, Sab is off track.
And he rejoins the track. Steven gets by him. So Sab, maybe wing damage, maybe not. It looks like he is gonna be okay. Not sure what happened there, but he drops down to the 8th position, and he was running around the podium, around top 5, 4th or 5th before that happened. So Sab, it definitely could have been worse, but definitely not agreeing with his tires. That is the compound that he started on, though. So he does still have to make a pit stop, and I'd say that could come too soon for him.
Oh, we got 2 wide, 3 and wide scenario at turn 1. Oh my god, that was mad. That was mad, Tim. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there at all. That was mad. You had Bixon Roberts, Simon Palmer and Michael were battling out on the DRS straight at start finishing line. Bixon Roberts stopped in the middle which brought Michael going through the inside, trying to cut in, and he got himself ahead after the battle between himself and Simon Palmer and BX and Roberts. And I tell you what, Michael played a really good game and got himself into second place.
And not only that, though, they're not done, Malk. Michael's still in second, but Simon Palmer's got the DRS. This is a small DRS strain compared to what we've seen earlier, but Robert's trying to close in on Simon. Simon trying to close in on Michael. Simon going on the outside of Michael. Will he be able to clear him? And he doesn't even get the move done, but Michael is not out of the woods yet. And there goes Simon Palmer diving down the inside. Maybe a slight bit of contact there between those two drivers. Michael spins off. Simon Palmer gets the second position.
So Simon Palmer is goes to second, Smoke into third, BX and Roberts drops down to fourth. Michael will be absolutely livid with that, absolutely livid. Watching Nitrogash now, Nitrogash was having a great battle with Tal and Sab down the straight, and now Nitrogash in seventh place. Yellow flag set to 3, that is Michael again. It looks like he's lost it through there. I don't know whether he's going to retire, I don't know, but he's not moving, Tim. Oh, he's retired, Tim. He has retired, he's left the session, and I'm guessing that he's lost communication. Absolutely frustrations, Tim.
And it's a shame for Michael. He was running so very well. Not sure exactly what led up to it, but it was definitely some very close and hard racing, and obviously a little bit of contact with him and another car might have sent him around. Not sure exactly how that happened, but still bad luck for Michael Lucas. We now see Smoke closing in on the back of Simon Palmer. And by closing in, I mean he is already there and just waiting for an opportunity to get around that Aston Martin. Simon Palmer is going to be a sitting duck on the straightaway. He's got 13-lap-old medium tires to Smoke's 3-lap-old medium tires, and he has no DRS. Smoke is going to make quick work of the Aston Martin, but Simon Palmer, he is going to defend. He's going to defend very hard, trying to break up that slipstream down the straightaway. It really could be anyone's place at this moment, but Smoke does go around the Aston Martin. Does he clear him? No, he doesn't. Simon Palmer's going to fight hard on the inside line and forces Smoke just a touch wide there. Smoke stays right next to the Aston Martin, and on the inside goes Smoke and clears the Aston Martin and Simon Palmer.
Brilliant move, absolutely brilliant move there from Smoke. If he does not win the title this season, he needs a lot of words to explain. That is a great move, and he's the form of his life at the moment, Tim. He's at the form of his life, and he could be chasing Keza, who's already had 2 laps already. Simon Palmer's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not good. Look at Sunboy. Sunboy now making a move onto Simon Palmer. 2 in the bed moment. 2 in the bed moment coming up to turn 1. Oh, go! Come on! Come on! You want to make the move? You have done, Sunboy. Brilliant stuff. What a race so far, Tim.
And this is starting to look very good for Sunboy. Now, granted, Keza, he has got 3 seconds worth of time penalties, and he is 8.4 seconds ahead. So Keza, he is pretty much looking like this is just going to be his race to lose. All he's got to do is make a decent, steady pace and not get another time penalty, and he should be okay. It doesn't matter what Smoke does, because Smoke himself has a set of time penalties, or 3 seconds worth of time penalties rather. Sunboy, though, he does not have any time penalties at the moment, so if the race were to end at this very moment, he would get second from Smoke, giving him that extra position, a few more points in the championship.
Points, well, we said before, Tim, points mean prizes, and that's what it means to all these drivers as well. Tal going to move to the bed moment against Nitrogash. Nitrogash holding on for dear life for 6th place. Come on! Oh, this is what we love about the Invictus Racing League. So many battles galore, and drivers do not, and I say this again, they do not want to give up so many points. And remember, it's what you said earlier on, Tim, the Performance League points are totally different to what the normal league does, because whatever position that you finish, as long as you don't DNF or DSQ, you will guarantee points. Whether you finish in 17th, you will guarantee points. So, this is where anything could change at this moment in time. But, Tim, you just can't get your eyes off this race at all.
And Nitrogash still fighting with Tal, but as we look ahead of Nitrogash, it looks as though there is absolutely nothing to see but racetrack and a small, tiny dot, which is another competitor ahead of him. But looking at the time intervals, it looks as though Nitro Gash is in prime position, possibly, to inherit a top 5 finish. Thanks to Simon Palmer's 3 seconds worth of time penalties, Nitro Gash doesn't really have a whole lot that he has to make up before he's within striking distance of Simon Palmer in P4. Now, O. Steven does not have any time penalties, so he would jump Simon Palmer, but Nitro Gash could jump Simon Palmer if he does not pick up the pace.
Wow, that's very, very true. That's very, very true at the minute. But as things stand, Nitro Gash, do not write him off at all just yet. Do not write him off as well. Reed says Delange smartly pitting, racing against an issued car. It's not going to work. Tao looking fast. Yeah, we mentioned about that. Darrell picked up 9 seconds while he was 6th. He still kept 6. Delange's pace fell off. There was the third off his prediction. Reed says it's been a good race. Looks like it will settle in unless Insta safety car as I say this. And Tarak has left the session. BX Roberts has got a 3-second time penalty for multiples, and look at this. Look at this. Nigel Gash and Tao. Tao is under a lot of pressure. Oh, Steven goes up ahead of Simon Palmer. Tao to the bed moment. Now! Braking moments, and then goes up ahead on 6th place, Tim. Good move.
Almost 2 identical moves down the front straightaway, very close to each other, except we've got Nitro Gash still battling side by side with Tao. Almost went side by side through this, as his thought better of it, so Tao gets the 6th position for now. Nitro Gash back down to 7th. He'll have an opportunity to get back around him when they get to the straightaway with the DRS, but Simon Palmer even starting to drop back close to these drivers, so Simon Palmer and Tao both with time penalties. O. Steven with no time penalties in P4, trying to chase down Sunboy in P3.
Absolutely, and they're doing everything they can to close the gap. But Keza, I've been really impressed with him tonight, Tim, and I'm sure you'll say the same thing. Keza on his full-time race, on his second race of the season, and he's proven it, and he's going to try and close the gap into 10 seconds itself. JP goes up ahead of Russman for 8th. Russman dropped himself down to 9th after the DRS straight. You got BX and Robertson's on the hard tyre against Speed Queen. Speed Queen drops down to 12th. And we also got Simply and just moves up to 13th, ahead of Sab in 14th place, team.
So Simply 90 not having the best of days, P13 at the moment. And of course, the way that we score drivers in the Performance League is as long as you finish the race, you will still get points. So if the race were to end right now, Simply 90, he still gets points, he still walks away with something. But you know that he is wanting more than what he's getting at the moment. And looks like Simon Palmer has dropped all the way down to 7th because he's decided that enough is enough, and it was time for him to pit. Getting a fresh set of Dr. Feelgoods on the Aston Martin, a fresh set of tires going out on track.
I miss those words, Tim. I miss those words. The Dr. Feelgood tires itself. But yeah, he's just dropped himself all the way down to 14th place, so he'll have the softs for 10 laps at least. Probably about 11 laps, sorry. So we're waiting to see what time he'll try and do as we speak. But there's quite a few battles going on. As we see, got JP and Rushman, about a second gap difference. Bix and Robertson Speed Queen for 10th and 11th, about a second gap. But we'll have to have a look at Simply and Sab, because those are the only closest battle we have got in this race so far. And I'll tell you what, Tim, you just can't write off anything. You cannot write anything at all until possibly the last few laps, or maybe the last lap of the race.
And as we've seen last week in Abu Dhabi, that is exactly the case here in the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League. It's lap 18 of 28. This has been brought to you in partnership by GridFinder.com and Nailcoat Hall. Big thank you to our sponsors for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. Keza, Smoke, and Sunboy are your top 3 at the moment. Sunboy still in a prime position to inherit that second place from Smoke when the race ends, but slowly but surely it seems as though Smoke is putting a little bit of distance between him and his Williams competitor. Meanwhile, Keza is putting a little bit more distance between him and his Alpine competitor. The gap has risen from about 8.4 seconds a few laps ago to 9.3 right now. There you see Smoke in the second position and riding on board, and you can't even see a tiny glimpse of Keza. That's because Keza is way ahead, almost to the DRS straight now.
Absolutely. It looks like Sav and Michael go sort of into the pits. A Towel getting close to Steve. A Towel out of nowhere, I'll say that again, out of nowhere, let me have a look at when the position changes. He from 8th to 5th at the moment. Some boy from 10th to 3rd. So he's the biggest mover of the session itself. Towel could be on for 4 positions. Oh, Stephen is going to be struggling like mad down the straight. Here we go, Towel to the bend moment now. Gives them ahead. Oh, the DRS. And smooth as you like. To move them to 4th place, Tim.
So Tao looking good so far, except when you look at how many time penalties he has accumulated throughout this race. 9 seconds worth of time penalties. He's going to make a lot of drivers behind him very, very happy, but not himself, unfortunately. So the top 5 is almost guaranteed to dissipate at the end of this race, but it's not over yet. It's lap 20 now of 28.
Tim, there's been a crash. There's been a crash, and we've got the first safety car of the evening. And I just caught a glimpse. This will probably need to be checked by stewards, but I saw one of the cars caught into Speed Queen. That will be... It was after, you know, the DRS straight in the second sector. You know, that awkward just before you turn in, the sharp left-hander. That's the one where, after you've done that, go straight on. I think there was contact between Simon Palmer and Speed Queen. That will probably be checked by stewards after. But Speed Queen got caught by... I mean, if I got it wrong, I do apologise. I'll say it next week. But it looks like Simon Palmer just caught Speed Queen. And Speed Queen caught herself into the wall, and she's out of this race, too.
Unfortunate for Speed Queen, a podium last week and a DNF with 0 points this week in the United States, so hopefully Speed Queen 80 can rebound in the future. But lap 20 of 28, and this was a very well-timed safety car, I noticed, for Tao, who was able to dive down into the pits and get a fresh set of soft tires. Imagine what it would be like if he did not have the 9-second penalty hanging over his head. Now, granted, this was also a very lucky break for Sunboy in the Williams car, because he is the only driver in the top 3 and one of only 2 in the top 5 who does not have a time penalty. This was not good for Keza. This was not good for Smoke. Keza, will he pit for soft tires? Will Smoke pit for soft tires? Well, there goes Keza down into the pits. Does Smoke follow him? No, he does not. Actually, no, never mind. I got my corners mixed up again. He will follow him.
Oh, will Sunboy follow as well?
Surely, yeah, he's got to. He does. He does. And it's really a no-brainer at this point. We've seen that these soft tires can last about 8 or 9 laps. You know, someone mentioned earlier that the pit window is about lap 9. Well, lap 20 right now, lap 21. So that's well within the operating window of those soft tires. So it is a no-brainer under the safety car to make that pit stop. The only issue is you're not really going to be at much of an advantage, because that's pretty much what everyone else is going to do. It's just a matter of not being at a disadvantage.
Absolutely, but with the safety car team, especially when you've had a massive, and I'll say this again, once you've had a massive gaps, it does annoy you, because look what happened to Sunboy a few weeks ago at Azerbaijan. He kept going ahead, and he had like 5-second gap, 10-second gap, and then he lost it with a few safety cars kicking in. So it's just the form, it's just the momentum, it's just the mentality of the drivers to make sure that they are at their very best once they're kicked off with the racing itself. But be very warned, guys, be very warned, because I think if Keza needs to concentrate. If he wants to win his first race of the season, he needs to concentrate massively, especially with the penalties itself. He needs to try and get a 3-second gap between himself and Sunboy. That'll be the crucial point of it all. But Rain says Dr. Phil tires. I think what Tim says is Dr. Feel Goods, like feel good, like I feel good, that type of stuff. But yeah, mad scenes, but absolutely dramatic. Keza, who was like a 10-second gap, now he's going to have to work it again after the safety car. It's going to be mad, to be fair. So, if you like what you've seen so far, guys, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel, but all the live race itself. We are aiming for at least, we already aimed for at least 10 likes. If we could aim for 15, that'll be even fantastic. That'll be even fantastic. We hit 12 already. I'll have to wait and see. I'll wait for the goals as well. So, but yeah, if we could aim for 15 likes, it would be a massive, massive help. If for myself and Tim as the commentators, as well as the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel as well. Tim.
In lap 22 of 28, just waiting to see when the safety car is going to come in. Maybe this lap, but we still got a couple of stragglers at the back. That is Maddie in the Alfa Romeo and Sir Spud in the Ferrari. But we had our time penalties up so you can get a good look at just what these drivers are facing. Ren said that Smoke has been a beast with overtakes and he's not going to let Keza get away with this. Well, I agree with you. However, it's the time penalties that are going to have the final say, I believe. It's not impossible to overcome these time penalties. In fact, Smoke did it in the F2 race. He overcame a 5-second time penalty, so surely a 3-second time penalty can be overcome by either himself or Keza. However, with it this close to the end of the race, Keza's going to have to pretty much run constant qualifying laps, and we're talking about pole laps in order to overcome this time penalty.
He has to be his very best, because Smoke, as I said, Smoke is on 3 wins on the bounce. Could he make it 4 wins on the bounce? That's all I'm going to say. Can he make 4 wins on the bounce? Can Keza hold on? I hope he does, to break the Smoke effect. The Smoke effect. The Smoke win effect as well. So, safety cars in this lap, because all the cars are all bunched up. So, Keza is theoretically now the safety car leader. So, we have to wait and see how everything goes now. But Keza needs to be at his very, very best and not mess it up. I'll say this again. He needs to get a good start, because Smoke ain't going to mess about it.
No, he is not. He knows what's on the line. He knows what he has to do to overcome this time penalty, and he knows that he's only going to have 6 laps to do it. The final few laps of the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League United States Grand Prix coming your way here in just a moment. Keza is the control car, and he decides to go now, but will he catch Smoke sleeping? He kind of did, though, so Keza gets a big jump out of the final corner, and already 0.8 of a second ahead of Smoke. Someboy back there in the 3rd position as we ride on board with him as they go into turn number 1, and Smoke has a bit of a lockup, so that brings him a little bit closer to Sunboy, and if Sunboy can get alongside Smoke and battle with him, that will give Keza his best opportunity to overcome that 3-second time penalty. 1.1 seconds already between him and Smoke. So that's a little bit more to him and Sunboy. Sunboy very close to Smoke. He knows that he's going to have to get by Smoke and get by him yesterday, because he knows what's on the line. He knows he's going to have to run down that McLaren, and he's going to have to do it on raw pace, because the DRS is not yet active, and it's not a guarantee that he's going to be within DRS range of Keza once and if he gets by Smoke.
Absolutely, and so Spud has got a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings, but he's also close to Michael in 15th place. Sunboy has got a chance, so it's 1.5 is the gap between Keza and Sunboy for a chance. And we've got quite a few drivers who are all used to the slipstream down the straight. There's no overtakes just yet. It looks like JP and Simon Palmer battling out for 7th place. JP trying to do everything he can after that spin earlier on in the race. JP's not messing about. He really wants to get this good position for 7th place as quickly as possible. But Sunboy is getting close to Smoke, Tim.
0.4 of a second separating him and Smoke. About to be lap 24 of 28. Keza is just a second ahead of this battle. So Keza so far has not done what he needs to do. Tal, though, with 9 seconds worth of time penalties, he doesn't care. He's trying to throw his hat into the ring and get close to this battle and try to get whatever he can salvage from this day. O. Steven behind him in P5. He's in prime position to inherit at least a few points because he does not have any time penalties, at least at the moment. Sunboy can't quite get closer to Smoke.
JP! Brilliant! Brilliant move! Absolutely brilliant move there from himself against Simon Palmer. Round the outside before the assist. I've lost my voice, Tim. That was a great move from JP. Then goes topside to the bend moment. And round the outside, just before the exit, JP saying, look, mate, I won that position, and he took it with ease. That was a great move from JP too.
And JP has already put a second between himself and Simon Palmer, so he is definitely the faster car out of this group, and he's got a time penalty to overcome as well, so he is going to have to start booking it. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the battle between Smoke and Sunboy, because it is still Keza, Smoke, Sunboy 1, 2, and 3. Sunboy has dropped back a little bit further behind Smoke. Meanwhile, Smoke has actually gotten a little bit closer to Keza. So at the moment, it's looking like Keza is not going to be able to win this race, but we still have got a handful of laps to go and plenty of opportunity for Keza to find some grip in those tires and find the speed that he needs to overcome that 3-second time penalty. That is the big thing that's hanging over his head right now. Tal is putting a little bit of pressure on Sunboy. That could play into Keza's hands beautifully as BXN Roberts picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So pretty much the story of the day around COTA has been the time penalties, and now the DRS is enabled with just a handful of laps to go. This is where we could see some overtakes. Smoke is very close to the DRS range between him and Keza. He is flirting with DRS range. He's going to have to be within a second of Keza when they get to the detection zone right before the hairpin. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to do anything with it. There's no guarantee that Keza and Smoke can battle for this win, but the best thing that they can do is just work together, and definitely for Smoke to get the DRS if he's going to get around that McLaren. Sunboy, he needs to stay close to Smoke, though. He cannot let Smoke get out of DRS range, and I think that all of them are going to have DRS, so this is going to be the final chugga-chugga-choo-choo train of the night, the DRS train down the straightaway.
Choo-choo away to get themselves into the top one itself. But I'm just watching the intervals itself, Tim. At the moment, between Keza and Sunboy, 1.8 seconds is the gap. We have 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go. Keza needs to start pushing like qualifying laps. That's all he has to do. Tal had another 3-second time penalty, so that's 12 seconds worth of penalties. JP's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. Simon already had another penalty, so that's 6 seconds worth of penalties added on. 2 seconds now, the gap between Keza and Sunboy, but they can't afford to mess up in the next few laps, Tim.
And there you see the gap between Sunboy and Keza, 2 seconds, as Malcolm just told us. 2.1 now, as Keza puts a little bit more distance down the straightaway between him and Sunboy. Tal still putting some pressure on that Williams driver, but still cannot quite seem to get close enough to make a move. Of course, Tal, 1 lap older tires than Sunboy, but those were under the safety car, so the difference is extremely minimal. Nonetheless, I'd say that Sunboy loves having 1 lap fresher tires than Tal, especially considering the tire window of the soft tires, only about 8 to 9 laps around this circuit. Now the cars do have slightly less fuel in them than when we started, so that will pay dividends to them as far as tire wear is concerned, but it's still something that you have to worry about, but ultimately can't do anything about, because you have to run your race, and you have to run these laps hard if you are going to win this race.
Absolutely, you have to push the boundaries as much as possible to try and get a decent result. And at the moment, Tal got himself into 3rd place, but that 12-second penalties is going to cause him like mad. 2 in the bed moment down the straight. I'm not sure who that is. That is simply the best, I have to tell him now, against Delange. Oh, that was close between himself and Simon Palmer. So Simply he's moved himself into 10th place at the moment.
So Simply 90 trying to defend against Delange, and looks like he's going to be able to do that. His next victim is Simon Palmer in the Aston Martin. Simon Palmer not having the best of days. He was running around the top 3 earlier, had to make a pit stop for the soft tires.
Oh, no.
Then the safety car came out, and Keza a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that pretty much takes him out of contention entirely for this win. That means that Smoke at the moment is leading this race. However, Sunboy, he's 2.5 seconds back, so if the race were to end right now, Sunboy from 4th place would get the win. We'll leave the time penalties up. We will leave them up so we can watch them. 12 seconds to Tal, 3 seconds for Smoke, 6 seconds for Keza. And the gap, it is so very close between Sunboy and Keza. Smoke needs to get around Keza and then use that clean air to his advantage to pull away from Sunboy if he is going to win this race. Has it ever happened before, Malk? Has a driver in the Performance League ever won 4 races in a row?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I can't remember, to be honest. from the top of my head. I cannot remember, but I think we only had like 4 wins on individual races, but not on the bounce. I don't remember, Tim. I really do not remember. So this could be the first one. I do apologise if I got it wrong, but I think this could be the first one.
Maybe so. We'll have to look back at our statistics after the race, but Smoke very well could be making Invictus Racing League history here today around the circuit of the Americas, but he has still got a long way to go. The gap between him and Sunboy, approximately 2 seconds. Smoke needs to find a second or so over Sunboy if he's going to win this race, and the only way to do that is get by that Papaya Orange McLaren of Keza, and Keza knows what's on the line as well. Keza trying to salvage any type of points-paying position that he can get at this point. Of course, all you have to do is finish to get points, but you want as many as you can. Keza pretty much not going to be fighting for a championship this season due to this being only his 2nd race, but he can still get a decent points haul today as Tal is putting pressure on Smoke through the S's, so that could affect Smoke's chances at winning this race. Meanwhile, Sunboy is 3.2 seconds behind Keza now. What has happened to Sunboy as he has really lost a lot of pace?
He has lost a lot of pace, but I think he just doesn't want to make a silly mistake or get any penalties, which I don't blame him, but that's going to cost him dearly if he wants to win this race, to be fair. But here we go, again, Tao getting close to Smoke, down the straight of the DRS, Chaz now, Smoke, we have to be on. Oh my god, this is going to be close. This is going to be bad, 2 in a bed, oh, Jesus. Smoke! Tao nearly caught the back of Smoke's car, or the side of the car actually, sorry. But I tell you what, Tao is not giving up this fight, and we're on for the final bit of the lap, Tim.
And this is the final lap, and it's going to be very close. Smoke might be able to win 4 races in a row here. Sunboy is 3.5 seconds behind Keza. Smoke is 0.6 of a second behind Keza, and Tao is right on the back of Smoke through the final corner. It's going to be anyone's race between 1st and 4th and 2nd place. Keza's going to cross the line in 1st, but he will not win the race. Smoke, does he get the win? Yes, he does, barely by 1/10 of a second. Smoke has won 4 races in a row. He wins the United States Grand Prix. Sunboy in 2nd, just barely by 1/10. And then Steven getting a podium in P number 3 in that Mercedes. What a fantastic finish and a very tight battle at the end. Keza ultimately finished P4 after 6 seconds worth of time penalties.
Mad sees, to be fair. The driver of the day is Sunboy. That's what they said on the game itself. But Ellie says, that was a great race. Thanks for the commentary. No worries, Ellie. I'm glad you enjoyed the race. It was a dramatic ending, to be fair, with the penalties, and we wasn't sure who's going to caught that ending. Tao says, gutted. Yeah, especially with 15 seconds with the penalties. That would have been an epic if it didn't have that penalties itself. But absolutely mad. Well done to the top 3 of, Smoke, Sunboy, and also Stephen. We'll get them in a moment or two. And, here your top 3, the race classification team. Sorry.
And your official finishing order for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League United States Grand Prix. Smoke in the Alpine, 4 wins in a row. Sunboy in 2nd. 3rd is Steven. 4th is Keza. Nitro Gash in 5th. Rustman in 6th. 7th is Delange. JP in 8th. 9th is Tal. Simply 90 in 10th. 11th is Sav. Maddie in 12th. 13th is Sir Spud. Simon Palmer in 14th. BXN Roberts in 15th. Michael Luke in 16th. Speed Queen 80 in 17th. 18th is Tadeli. And Tarak in the 19th position. We'll talk to our top 3 of Smoke, Sunboy, and Steven here in just a moment. But what an incredible finish. And I'll be honest, Malk, I really did not think that Smoke was going to be able to go 4 wins in a row today. And I really didn't believe it until Sunboy crossed the line and he was just a 10th off of his first win of the season.
I think I said Smoke to win. But I said Keza and someone else to get themselves into the top 3 itself. But mad seas, to be fair, and we're just waiting for Smoke to join in, and I think they'll all join into the commentators box. So that was good timing, because I was about to message them as well. So, all the way to 9th. Well done, Tal. But as a great race from what you produced as well. But It was a shame that you had those 15 seconds with the penalties. Yeah, Smoke's absolutely gobsmacked with that, to be fair. So we'll hear their thoughts in a moment too. So, guys, if you just joined in, please make sure you allow a voice to be shared. You're set to always allow. If you're not sure how to do it, go to the party settings, and there's an option called allow voice to be shared. Make sure it's set to always allow. So while the drivers will get themselves all set and ready to go, Tim will be doing the questions for the top 3 drivers of Smoke, Sunboy, as well as Stephen, who proved us all wrong with our predictions, to be fair. So well done to Stephen for creeping up in the Silent Assassin tonight, to be fair, for the racing itself. But we have to wait and see how everything goes as well. So, guys, are you all set, ready to go?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. Cool. So, we get the top 3 drivers to hear their thoughts. Tim, I'll let you do the honours.
Smoke, we'll talk to you first. Our winner 4 races in a row. Can you believe it?
No, I honestly thought Sunboy was going to pit me on the last corner. I was staring at the timing screen on the top left-hand side and I was just praying that I'd done enough, and then I didn't know if I did, and then all of a sudden it said 1.16. I was like, no way did I just do that.
So the United States Grand Prix, it's sometimes known as a war of attrition, especially with the very tight corners, but we saw you having multiple side-by-side battles today. How are you able to do that consistently and keep it on the track time and time again?
Well, I didn't keep it on the track hence the 3-second penalty.
Well, let's be real, most of the time.
To be fair, I was fighting Sunboy for most of it, if I'm honest. He did a few cheeky moves with me and squeezed me quite hard on a few places, but all's fair. I honestly thought he was going to beat me at the end, but racing wheel to wheel with him was frustrating as it was at the time. Looking back on it now, was really enjoyable. I was really happy with the race, even if I didn't finish on the podium, to be honest.
So has the word championship entered your brain now? Because if my math
Not
is
thinking
correct,
about it.
not thinking about it.
Nope.
All right, well that's probably the best.
That's
the
lies.
best mindset.
Not
That
thinking
is
about it.
lies. That is lies. You do not.
I don't look at the standings until the day of the race, and that's only to wind up Russman, because I've been closing down on him.
Well, I'm pretty sure
Fair
that you
play, mate.
passed him now.
Yeah, he finished P6 with it.
I think so.
That's a good point for the team. So team championship is looking good.
Well, congratulations, Smoke, on your 4th win in a row. Now we'll go back and talk to our 2nd place driver, Sunboy in the Williams. I know you've got to be gutted, but this is still your best finish on the season. Tell us how you feel and what could you have done more at the end.
Well, I'm feeling great. P2 is better than I could have thought at the start. My quali was quite frustrating. My last 2 laps were both invalidated, so the start was key, and I took around, I think 6 places in the start in 2 corners. So yeah, that was good.
So when the safety car came out, what was going through your mind? Because obviously you knew that the drivers ahead of you had time penalties and that this was going to be your best opportunity. And of course, no brainer to pit for soft tires. But what was going through your mind during that entire process?
Well, first I thought I'm done, like I'm going to P6 or something. But I had quite some pace at the start after the safety car. But then the Williams was just too bad for Smoke, and yeah, the 3-second gap came a bit too soon.
Well, nonetheless, 2nd place is a good day. Congratulations, Sunboy.
Thank you.
Now we'll talk to 3rd place of Steven in the Mercedes. So, Steven, you got the pole position and you held on to the podium position for quite a while, but ultimately you dropped back earlier on. So what happened there?
Start with the positives. My first pole position in Invictus, which is I'm absolutely gobsmacked about. I thought I would be up there with the 2nd or 3rd in qualifying, but when I see my name at the top, I was like, and then the nerves started to kick in. The first couple of laps, I knew that I probably wouldn't hold the lead that long, but when I did lose the lead, it was through bad connection through Keza. It was lagging quite a bit, so rather than go anywhere near him, I just let him past and let him go away, as you've probably seen on stream. But yeah, I knew I'd slip back, but I was glad of the safety car because I was either going to go to the end or I was going to, obviously, if there was a safety car coming and pitting. But lap 20 was a godsend for me because then I could just go on the softs to the end and just hope that people in front had penalties, which Towley did. And I just pipped Keza at the end by 600ths of a second or something. But yeah, good points for Rocket Fuel Racing today with Sunboy in second and me in third. And congratulations, Smoke, on his win.
So, Stephen, there at the end, there was so many different points, penalties, or time penalties, excuse me, that it was really hard to keep track. What were you thinking when you finally saw your name in P3? Did you know that you were in line for a podium, or were you just trying to get anything that you could?
I was just trying to get anything I could, but I couldn't see, obviously, first. So I was just hoping that they would get penalties, because I knew I would get past Towerley on penalties, because he had 12, which would have put me fourth anyway. But yeah, absolutely gobsmacked that I've got a podium. So yeah, it's going to be interesting in Monaco next week.
Well, it's third place for you today in Circuit of the Americas, so congratulations, Stephen.
Thank you very much.
So, Malk, what are your closing thoughts on what might have been a very historic Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Grand Prix?
It was, without doubt, one of the classic races to watch, especially the explosive ending with everyone on penalties. Keza could have had the chance to win his first ever race in his second race of the season itself. But Smoke, he's smoking. He's lightning fast, and I tell you what, he's absolutely loving life because he's got 4 wins in a row. Went on to Sunboy actually for getting to the top 3, as well as Stephen, who proved me, as well as yourself, Tim, both of us wrong to win the top 3 itself. But yeah, well done to the guys. They've done a fantastic job, and we hope we'll have another classic one like that for next week.
And with that, that is all the time that we have. But a big thank you to everyone who watched the stream. A big thank you to the drivers that raced with us. And congratulations to our top 3 finishers. And thank you to our sponsors of GridFinder.com and Nailcoat Hall for jumping on board, supporting the stream and the league as a whole. And until next time, have fun and goodbye.